received his master's in social and political sciences from the University of Antwerp, Belgium. Till 1992, he served as High Public Servant in the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Brussels, Belgium. He is also founder of several companies, in particular video compression, puzzle companies, has more than 200 patents in various fields. Besides, he has been involved in various capacities in teaching of Western astrology, healing practices, painting, sculpturing, artwork, and organizing holistic workshops. Since 2002, has been involved in an independent development of holistic cosmology based on topology, in conformity with mathematics and logic, and since 2005, in cooperation with the nuclear engineer Ayar, he has been related to new plasma technology for energy, water production, transport systems, and medical applications. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Belgium, please welcome Loukas.
Okay, thank you very much for being here. For my honor to be here with such high quality people, also the appointment, the representatives of this representatives, the press, the devotees. It's an honor to be here. It is very nice to be here. Surprised by the beauty of the country and by the friendliness of the people. And it is very important that I think, although there are problems here like everywhere, there is a deep need of peace. And you can see like the fist. With the fist, we can fight. With the fist, with the closed hand, you can grasp. It is weak. It is the power, the willingness to show power and not to open the hand. If the hand is open, we can create. We can create. We can do very nice things. We can write. We can make it nice. We can give a hand. We can communicate. So, this is what peace is about. Peace is about the openness and tolerance. Peace is about opening the hand to other one and to respect it. And this is what this little introduction will be about. Okay, I try to have the best technology available. Okay, so we are gathered together. And I think everybody here is motivated. We are motivated people, and we are here joined to look for solutions for a better world. And we hope that the distribution of food, of energy, of water, of air, clean air, and the correct technologies, use of technologies, will be finally realized very soon. It is our hope. But a better world is also a more peaceful world, where we respect other things and objects and nature. And it is very, very important. Again, it is opening the hand to others. Now, mutual respect is essential. It's a state of mind. and the importance of creating for ourselves excellent principles. And it means being unique ourselves, but being at the same time joined with the totality. It's so tolerant for the diversity. We are all different. We are all like bells with another sound, but we can bring together the orchestra, make the music of totality, of unity. There must be also, in mutual respect, this implicates also the fundamental understanding of unity. What is unity? What joins us? What interacts with each other? How do we interact with each other? What is love? What type of love? What type of energy is love? This is important. How can we formulate what is love? But we know this energy, we know that it's really we feel it in our heart. Sometimes it goes in the wrong direction, but okay, how can we formulate what is love? But we know this energy, we know that it's really we feel it in our heart. Sometimes it goes in the wrong direction, but okay, we feel this energy. So this energy is dynamically coupled in a way, in a harmonic or in a disharmonic way. And it's for us to see that this harmony goes into a harmony. Now, when we have that fundamental understanding of unity, we have to put it in practice, to apply this in action in our lives. At the same time, mutual respect means the recognition of the rights and duties. We have duties, we have rights. These rights must be respected mutually. And this leads also to justice. There is not only the human justice, there is a fundamental, deeper justice. And because we are part of the unity, in fact we know this. We know this fundamental justice. We know when we are doing sins. We know that we are doing making failure decisions. So we know this because we are connected to the totality. We are part of the totality. Because we, as a whole, we as a conference, we are motivated, like I just explained. But we also have the conviction that we are able to provoke change. You believe in your own powers. You are here because you are interested in world peace, seeing how science and spirituality can be connected. But you are convinced that we are able to do something, to do our little part, our little job, to make the whole world a better place. So we want to change this harmony to harmony. And there are, of course, very, very much aspects of this harmony in this world. We have war, we have war in the family, we have war there, we have everywhere in the world. We see also this harmony in nature. But so we are convinced that we have power, and power we can use and define it by reasoning, by arguments, by having insight, by dialogue and communication, by creating beauty, and by using our creativity to make products and objects that satisfy us, that are related to us, that are resonating with us, that we like. And we have also the power to show better solutions and alternatives. And I'm sure there is a lot of energy, creative energy here, and together we can find so nice, beautiful solutions that it will make other people. So we have to be the belief, and we are convinced, but we have to believe in ourselves that we are able to change this strange world. Because this strange world is just a little particle in space. It is space in Earth. And we must look for the harmony in this world. So the seat of peace. So we are a unity. And in fact, when you look to your own body, to your own mind, but especially to your body, you will notice that in fact, in actual science, we are just a cluster. Each of us is a cluster of fundamental particles, not more. Of course, we are each particles are and made together atoms. These atoms make together molecules. These molecules make together cells and objects. But in fact, the basic elements that we are fundamental particles, as physics says. Of course, there is also the mind, and there the question starts: what is the mind? Okay, but the fundamental particles in quantum physics, they try to explain how the interrelationship between these fundamental particles exists, how they pop up. Sometimes you have they see a virtual particle coming from nothing, they don't know where it comes from. But suddenly it comes up, it's a kind of energy, it shows itself, it lights up, and then it disappears then. They call it virtual particle. But other ones, you see that this virtual particle becomes suddenly real particles, fundamental particles, or elementary particles. Right? So for them, this means that there is a kind of coupling, there is a universal coupling. And this is interesting. And we believe in a unity and in religion. For us, it is a logic. But we see that also the diversity of religions can separate us. Because we are the only owner of the truth. And in fact, when you go back and you understand this unity, you automatically will come to the interreligious cycle. So, because you represent the unity. Now, we can organize this unity. We can structure this in a global network, like the very dynamic Loukas. She's like a river, and growing river, and giving energy, and giving life to such a network, a beautiful network. We can do this with demonstration projects, where we can show by different ways, by art, by different ways, like we see here in the place of we can show the unity and our belief in that unity. And on the other hand, one of the seats of peace is also explaining this unity, because there is a lot of confusion about this unity. How can it be? So the atheist would say, oh, you speak about the God. But where is God? I cannot measure it. What God says, there is no logic behind. So this is, in fact, it is like a fundamental problem each religion has, because they don't have the system or the principles to show to non-believers that there is indeed the possibility that there is that unity, that there is a fundamental force that drives us and is causing also our lives. So that energy, the supreme energy that represents and creates all diversity with the duality, with each of us has duality. Japanese or Chinese, yin and yang, together. They are joined. So, another way is to optimize the unity principle is the fairness in material conditions. This is our responsibility to people that are not gifted like we are in material way or mental way or intellectual way. So we have to share. So we have, when we promote the unity, we have to take that into account. Now, we can also organize in material conditions. This is our responsibility to people that are not gifted like we are in material way or mental way or intellectual way. So we have to share. So we have, when we promote the unity, we have to take that into account. Now, we can also organize the unity principle by structuring global networks, but also look for the including of these principles in law. And that is not only international law and national law and social progress laws, that is social responsibility also. But there is more, there is a kind of universal law. Next to that, we should do marketing of that unity. Because this is our message, and the actual world surrounding us with all those technology and images, the images society tries to discover, we need to market it. That is great. We need to market God or unity. So, and we can do that in global action. And maybe in a new symbol of unity. Like we see here, the countries with all those flames, different flames. Maybe we can create, as an example, which is just an example, but as you know, I'm an inventor, so I'm trying to formalize it in a certain way. A symbol like representing unity would be a real object, like a candle with a universal flame. It's a real flame, And I think at that moment, as a kind of analogy, to the Olympic flame. What happens with the Olympic flame? It's like a torch that is coming from somewhere, and it makes a line, goes all through all the countries, and finally comes together, and the flame is started, and then goes back. And it distributes and show everywhere. Now, imagine that we have a kind of universal flame, representing unity, representing on its framework, on its framework, the different names of God. It's showing that the flame is really a unity. That when you light it up, that it represents all those other religions also. Because there is a fundamental unity. Now, even that flame can be redistributed at first started by, let's say, the heads of religion, showing that they participate in the project. And then, from that unity flame, let's say, in one of the countries, I don't know where it is located, like it is the Olympic flame is located in Athens, in Greece, so it can be somewhere. And then it can be redistributed in all the countries. And then there is a whole marketing system that you can go and read behind it. Where all these different seeds of peace will lead to more individual and collective life and practice, and more tolerance and peace. So we can have a strategy of peace, joint statement of religious leaders, the use of modern communication systems, dialogue and communication on the field, reading, debating, communication, the cooperation with similar organizations, and the formalization of the truth related to injustice and disharmony in politics, economy, and social level. Now this is, I think, very important. If you represent the truth or you represent the unity, you have the courage to say to an example, Mr. Bush, what you do is not correct. And I think a lot of people know that. But how can you change the mentality of a system like Mr. Bush represents? The military industrial complex. Now, during this conference there will be many aspects, religious aspects, scientific aspects, and both give another perspective to describe our reality. But in fact, what is reality? This is something most religions have studied in depth. Now, when we see reality, we see this woman with the fish, and we see an image of money coming from the sky. These are two realities showing something different. But in fact, these are strange. There are thousands and thousands like this woman there on that view from the sky. So it is how must we interpret this reality? Is it subjective? Is it objective? Is it individual perception? Is how I see it. And the spectacles that I wear, we all have certain spectacles. And when I have spectacles which are red, and I see a white flower, I will say it is a red flower. But the one lady looks at green spectacles, and she says, no, this is green. But in fact it's white. So our perception, and it is for a while, for a part, genetically determined, but also how we look to it from the education, from culture, is different. Now, this reality can be measured. So finally, the question is, who am I in this world? Now, our observation of the world has changed a lot since the technology has took such an incredible movement. We see, for example, the Hubble telescope, who disclosed to us the macrocosmos and how the beauty of the creation of stars like we see there. And this is reality. But at the same time, on the other side, on the right, we see the size of atoms. And we see how the nucleus is composed by protons and neutrons. And then we see that the proton is following smoothly. It's composed by 3 quarks and by electrons, by 3 quarks. But how? So the again separation. Why do the quarks always stay together? So science creates new entities, namely a universal glue, to glue them together. But why not put them in a container so that they can go out? But this is for later. This is my next talk this afternoon. So who am I? I'm me in this world. I'm composed also by these fundamental particles, particles. What is the relation with the self, the consciousness? How can we explain how body and mind are connected and make a new union? So these are fundamental questions. Where matter is impermanent, is subject to decay, and matter is the cause of physical conflict, fight, and is the cause of sickness, is the cause of mental conflict also, the cause of crime. But at the same time, matter is also the means of survival, like food, clothes, housing, and from motion, transport, etc., and from temporal utility. So matter, although it is impermanent, is a reality because our body is also a reality. So what is the point? What is the mind? Even also that is the point of discussion in science. And again, we see that science has a tendency to separate. So new insights and concepts are needed, like the brain and nervous system. How much information can be transmitted by the nervous system? To give just an example of the logic, when we see a cable, let's say, of a nerve system, we say, okay, there are certain electrons moving inside the tubes. But then I say, why not look at the tube itself? Like you can have water pipe, it will transport water. But if you knock on the tube itself, you will see that also you can send over more signs. So, and then you see suddenly that there is the possibility that certain nervous systems are working doing other things, but finally are united by their membranes. So there is logic behind, but we have to look further than the separation of everything. We have to connect it and look to it as a human being. Now, and the religions, they know or they believe that one or more levels of permanence of soul, spirit, or mind exists. Now, the importance of religions is that they give a framework of answers. What is my place in the universe and nature? What is the relationship with other beings? What are the insights of my property? Inside interactions. Why do I do this? Why do I do that? Or how should I do this? Principles of morality and health. Prosperity and happiness is what people expect also to find from the universal force. They want to communicate with the universal force and want to know what is the best way to do this. And religions give us also more insight in higher and hidden energies. And finally, they claim the interconnectivity with that universal force. And they claim also that you as a unit of body and mind has the ability to connect with that universal force, with that thought, with that Krishna, with that energy that is in the background. Now, so we need a unification, and that unification is what is already an objective of science for many years. Before let's say, Einstein, there was a lot of looking for that, but also in the Hindu tradition there was a lot of mathematics related to that unification, to the energy processes that are in the background. Now, science doesn't give us an answer, because they still are in problem related to gravity. What is gravity? Now, when you look at gravity, and you know that every fundamental particle in my physics field is related to every fundamental particle in all your body, and with every fundamental particle in all these constructions locally, with every dust particle in Manipur and in the world, that is an elastic interconnectivity. So gravity is related to a form of elasticity. Now, in these major religions also, there is one universal force, just like gravity, and that is called Creator. It's omnipresent in all beings and objects. So we can say gravity is like an analogy to the Creator. And I say man cannot cut gravity in pieces. We can go around gravity, but finally we don't have scissors that can cut gravity. Gravity is. And just like man cannot cut God in pieces, we have not a possibility, because we are subset parts of the whole, of the unity. So, this is the end of my speech. Thank you for your attention.